Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we're going to be checking out tones and semitones. Now, both of these terms describe the distance between two notes. The reason they're important to learn early on is that we use them to describe the distances between notes in scales and chords. So they're a really important thing. Very, very simple as well. Very easy to remember. Now, each step around the note circle, which I'm hoping you're very familiar with now, is one semitone. Okay, now it might go from a note to a sharp note, like A to A sharp. If it's one step around that little clock face of the note circle, it's a semitone. Sometimes it might be like B and C. Neither of the notes are sharp or flat, so it's got nothing to do with sharps or flats or anything like that. It's just to do with how many steps around the clock face it is. If it's one step, it's a semitone. If it's two steps, we call it a tone. Okay, so two steps around, it might be like, say, from B to C sharp. If you look there at the B on the note circle, you jump one and then jump to the next one, we got C sharp. B to C sharp is a tone. Okay, so it's really, really important. Have a look at that and make sure you register which notes are tones and which ones are semitones. A good little exercise for you to do is to look at the white notes. Now, when I talk about the white notes, I mean the ones that haven't got a sharp or a flat between them. Why don't you have a look around the note circle and see which ones are a tone apart and which ones are a semitone apart. It's a really important thing to remember. It's something we're going to talk about a bit more in the next lesson. But that'll really help you get to grips with this idea of tones and semitones. Now, I should point out as well that the American terms for these, which are whole step and half step, are kind of common usage, obviously, in all American texts. But personally, I prefer the idea of a tone and a semitone. Half step and whole step can lead to some confusion later on down the way when we're looking at major scales, in my experience. Now, you're likely to see them depending on where you live and what you do. So just for this course, we're going to be using tones and semitones. But remember that in American texts, you'll probably find a tone is described as a whole step and a semitone is described as a half step. Very, very simple to remember. It's just one of those things, a little bit of study on the note circle, a little bit of memorizing of what a tone is and a semitone, and you're done. So I'll see you for the next lesson where we're going to talk about sharps and flats.